In this video, we'll be looking at players who Hawthorn will be targeting in the 2025 draft. And by the looks of this draft, Hawthorn are about to get two future guns going into the 2026 season. I'll be covering all the players who could be potential steals, players who may slide down the draft, and also underrated pickups, so let's get into it. G'day guys, Ed's here back with another video. Now, the narrative going into this draft is that it's a weaker draft than previous years, and I simply think that's not the case. The more I research and look into this draft, the more I feel like that at least the top 20 picks of the first round are going to be at minimum average AFL players. Yes, it may not be filled with future superstars, but I feel like the media is pushing this weak draft narrative because 4 of the top 7 to 8 players are all linked to either academy or father-sons. So I do feel pretty confident in saying Hawthorn are going to get 2 future guns with pick 10 and 22 in this year's draft. So without further ado, I'm going to start with the best available player if they potentially do slide to pick 10. So let's get into it. The first player I have on my list is Sam Cumming out of South Australia, the 186cm midfield forward. Now, do I think Cumming is going to slide all the way to pick 10? Most likely not. I give it a 90% chance it doesn't happen, but there are a handful of really good midfielders in this draft, and I feel like, yeah, if teams want to go with a Sam Grill or a Dyson Sharp, for example, then Cumming may slip down to pick 10. I think when it comes to the midfielders in this draft, you got 4 that are going to go very high, but with that being said, there's also going to be 1 or 2 that are going to slip down further than most people expect. In other mock drafts, I've seen Cumming go in the top 5 and also outside the top 10. I feel like there's going to be 4 midfielders in roughly the same range as Cumming, and that being Sullivan Roby, Dyson Sharp, Sam Grill, and of course, Sam Cumming. And while I can confidently say he's most likely going to be inside the top 10, you never know. Some teams may prefer a different midfielder. They might be going for a different position or a different need. So yeah, I feel like out of those 4 main midfielders that aren't going to go in the top 3 or 4, for example, I feel like Cumming is the most likely to slip, even though he's an extremely talented football player. He models his game off Isaac Heaney, and against South Adelaide, he kicked 3 goals, 1 with 21 disposals, 6 inside 50s, 5 clearances, 5 tackles and 5 marks. So just judging by those stats, he's a very good all-round player, and I feel like if he is still available at pick 10, out of all the players on this list, Hawthorn are definitely going to pick him up first. The next player on my list is Josh Lindsay, the halfback/wing out of Vic Country. Lindsay is extremely talented, is most likely going to go in the top 10 of this draft. Kicks out a fullback with his lethal left foot and is definitely compared closest to Carl Amon from the Hawks. For Vic Country, he averaged just under 22 disposals and 74% efficiency by foot, and also earned All-Australian honours. He's one of those players in this draft who's going to impact the team he lands at instantly with his lethal kicking. If he gets the ball in open space, an uncontested kick, he's going to hit a target 95% of the time. So yeah, any team that Lindsay lands at is going to be lucky to have him. I do think Lindsay is most likely going to land inside the top 10, but just by the looks of his game and his highlights, he looks Hawthorn. He has that lethal left foot kick, absolutely elite. He'll be one of the best kicks in the competition from day one, and yeah, Hawthorn sort of need another halfback/wingman. It's just another nice piece to have. I honestly think they're going to go more of a best available on-baller, but when it comes to Lindsay, he's definitely a replacement for Carl Amon, who is going to be 31 in 2026. On paper, he feels the need of a wingman/halfback depth-wise, with CJ leaving for Melbourne. He's an instant replacement for Carl Amon when the time comes for him to retire. And with Hawthorn having a lot of tall/hybrid backmen, he's another medium backman that provides skill. And in my opinion, he just fits Hawthorn nicely. So I feel like if he's still available at 10, Hawthorn are definitely going to go for him. The next player I have on my list is Ollie Greeves, the 191cm midfield forward out of Vic Metro. Greaves is being compared to Josh Smiley, who was drafted last year to the Tigers, except Greaves can take a contestant grab and he can hit the scoreboard consistently. In my opinion, Greaves is going to be a future gun. In 10 Talent League games, he averaged 25.5 disposals and 1.1 goals per game. He also won Vic Metro's MVP and came second in the Lark Medal, averaging 25.3 disposals, 11.5 contestant, 4.5 clearances, and just under 5 score involvements. Out of all the players I have on this list, I think Greaves is most likely going to go to the Hawks with pick 10. Also, in the Eastern Rangers preliminary final, Greaves collected 35 disposals, 4 goals, and 14 marks. And keep in mind, he kicked those 4 goals in a 6-minute time period. In the third quarter, he collected 9 disposals, 5 marks, and 4 goals in just over 6 minutes of game time. When it comes to his fit in the Hawthorn midfield, we obviously just lost James Worpel, so as an inside midfielder who's also good on the outside, he fills this need perfectly almost. And when you look at his player type, he's a genuine big body midfielder at 191 centimetres. He can take grabs, contested marks, he can go forward and kick goals. He's a goal kicking midfielder. And when you look at Hawthorn's midfield prototypes, Hawthorn do not have a genuine midfielder who can genuinely kick goals. Yes, we had Will Day at the start of the 2025 season, kicked 3 goals in the first half of that first game of the season against the Swans, but other than that, we really don't have any genuine midfielders who can go forward, and I feel like Greaves fits this team perfectly. But there's always a but. The one and only issue I have with Greaves, he's a bit slow. He's not too quick. If he was quick and had that really explosive pace, I mean, if he had elite explosive pace, he would be going in the top 5 of this draft for sure. But I feel like, yeah, this is definitely the best available pick for Hawthorn, and Greaves will most likely end up at the Hawks at pick 10. I'm 99% sure. Now, this next guy has future gun written all over him. That is Jacob Farah out of Perth, the 188cm halfback/midfielder. Wherever Farah ends up, he's going to be a future gun. He models his game off Jordan Dawson/Hayden Young. So he's a halfback that is most likely going to develop into a full-time midfielder eventually. In 9 WAFL Colt games for West Perth, he averaged just under 25 disposals, 5.5 marks, and he's a talented midfield defender hybrid. He can take a grab, he's explosive, he'll be great off the half-back line for the Hawks, especially if Weddle moves up to a wing, and then eventually he can develop into an on-baller, which Hawthorn also need. Obviously, a halfback/on-baller, so he's versatile, and he'd be a great pickup. He's one of those players, I think West Coast have pick 13, he's not falling past pick 13. If he's available at pick 13, West Coast are going to take him 100%, but let's say Ollie Greeves, for example, he gets selected earlier than Hawthorn's pick 10. I feel like Jacob Farah is probably the next best bet, safe-wise. He's going to be a guaranteed gun. He might take a few years, but I feel like, yeah, every Hawthorn fan would be happy to have him on this team. The next player on my list is a tricky one. I feel like he's got a bit of X-factor about him, and that is Jevan Phillipou. He's a 183cm midfield forward, and for some reason, I feel like he's got a bit of X-factor about him. He compares his game to Sam Flanders. He's the younger brother of Martise Phillipou, who was the number 10 pick in the 2022 draft and currently plays for the Saints. Jevan's got a bit of flash about him. He's athletic. He can kick both sides of his body. He's got really good skills and IQ, and he's versatile, playing midfield and forward in all different roles. Just going off the highlights I've seen from him, he seems like a tricky player to figure out. I mean that in a defensive way. Like, defenders are not going to know what he's going to do. He's going to be one of those players. He's going to get the ball, and just anything is going to happen at any time. Sort of like the Wizard. He'll get the ball. You don't know what's going to happen, but you know it's going to be exciting. I also feel like he fits Hawthorn. He just seems like a Hawthorn player. Athletic, he can kick on both sides of his body, and he's versatile, which is exactly what Hawthorn need. I feel like if Hawthorn pick 2 players in this draft that can play multiple positions, either a mid-forward or a mid-halfback or something along those lines, they're going to be very good going to the future. I feel like he's going to be a bit of a slider in this year's draft. I've seen people have him around the 15 mark and also around the end of the first round, but I feel like if he's available with Hawthorn's pick 22, there's a guarantee he's going to get picked up by the Hawks. So yeah, Jevan Phillipou is going to be a future gun in my opinion. The last player on my list is a medium forward out of South Australia, and that is Mitch Marsh. Marsh is quick, athletic, mobile, and has an elite footy IQ. Also is competitive and a strong mark in the air. He's got great forward craft, high IQ when it comes to leading out towards the footy, and he's a super accurate kick. He's being compared to Jack Gunston. Marsh is going to be the type of player. He's not going to be our number 1 priority with pick 10, and he's probably not going to fall down to 22, but if he does slide to 22, he's going to be picked up 100%. When you look at the fit and Hawthorn's need, he's an instant replacement for Jack Gunston the way Josh Lindsay is for Carl Amon. As a medium forward who's good in the air and athletic, he's the type of player who could at times be the number 2 key forward and also play with 2 other key forwards. So in that regard, versatility-wise, it fits nicely. Also, when you look forward to the 2027 season, let's assume Jack Gunston retired, and with the new ruck rules, the athletic Marby Ochoa is probably going to play a bit more ruck. And then you start to think about the injury-prone Mitch Lewis, and it sort of makes sense that Mitch Marsh would be selected if available at pick 22. So those are the 6 potential players I feel Hawthorn could pick up in the 2026 draft. Comment down below your thoughts and opinions, and who would you select if available with both picks 10 and 22. Very curious to hear your thoughts and opinions, Hawks fans. Thank you for watching the video. Yes, I know I have had a fair bit of time off recently from uploading YouTube, but I have been working on a lot of content, so there's some very exciting stuff in the works ready to go very shortly. My next video is going to be a full mock draft of the entire draft, so not just Hawthorn, the entire first round plus more of the draft is going to be out extremely soon, so stay tuned for that if you're looking forward to it. Also, I have about half a dozen more videos either in the works or going to be in the works very shortly, so if you're keen to see new content on ET Footy, like and subscribe because it's going to be good the next couple of months.